Yo, what is good, people? Today we have another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. This one is against Tuck. Y'all know him as MoxieBoost. This is a pretty good battle. Y'all can see this man is packing the power, not to mention he has 2 Bug Steel types and I have no Fire type to take them out, yo. But I got the Medicham and the Manectric on deck, so we're gonna see which one is gonna be my Mega. So let's get straight into this. So he's going to lead off with his Genesect, and he's going to get that special attack raise from download. Now I'm going to lead off with my Gliscor. Now I already know he's Scarf, so I'm thinking he might just go straight for the U-turn and not the Ice Beam. So I Protect just to scat out, and it turns out he does go for the Ice Beam. So I'm going to switch out into Captain Levi here to eat that Ice Beam up. So the switch happens, and he's still going to go for the Ice Beam just to get damage off on anything. But as you can see, this Ice Beam is going to do less than a fourth of my health, especially after them leftovers. So now that I know he probably wants to switch out, I'm just going to go for the Scald, probably get some damage off on anything, and try and possibly get a burn. But he switches out into his Goodra here, and I hit him with the Scald, and as you can see, this does absolutely no damage, like even less than 10% of this Goodra's health, and it was a critical hit. So after I seen that, I'm thinking that this Goodra is probably Assault Vested. So knowing that my Scald isn't going to do any damage to this Goodra, I'm going to go for the Toxic and try and whittle down the Goodra's HP, but I'm going to miss, and he's going to hit me with a Thunderbolt, and that's going to do a nice amount of damage since my Milotic is actually physically defensive. But seeing as how he has Thunderbolt, I'm going to switch out to my Manectric here to try and eat up the Thunderbolt and get that Lightning Rod special attack boost. But he's actually going to switch out into his Fortress. I see now he's making plays because he's probably trying to set up all over my Gliscor. But since I actually switch out to my Manectric, he's in danger of taking the Fire type move. So I'm not going to Mega Evolve because I still want Lightning Rod as an ability, but I actually am going to reveal that I have Flamethrower on my Manectric, and I'm going to hit his Goodra and do like 1% damage. But I actually do get the burn, so that's fortunate for me. But since this Goodra is actually Assault Vested, my Manectric can't really do anything to damage it that much, so I'm going to switch right out, and I'm going to go into my Gliscor here. Now I was originally expecting the Sludge Bomb or anything trying to status my Manectric, but he actually goes for Dragon Pulse, and this does 50% damage to my Gliscor, not eating it up at all, but it's still going to be a 3-hit KO after Poison Heal. Now because I want as much HP as possible, I'm going to go for the Protect, just adding another turn to the battle, but I'm going to get more HP back because of the Poison Heal. Gliscor loving that purple drink. And as you can see, the burn is actually taking its toll on this Goodra as it's down to half health now. Now here I'm going to go for the knockoff of my Gliscor, and I actually do reveal that the Goodra was carrying Assault Vest, but he does get the gooey off. Not that it really matters since my Gliscor isn't really a speed-based Pokemon, but he does hit me with Dragon Pulse, and he's going to bring me down to like almost red. But Gliscor ain't worried because he got that purple drink. Now here he's gonna withdraw his Goodra, probably saving it as death fodder, and he's gonna send out his Greninja, and I'm actually gonna go for the Protect to get even more HP back, and I just want that Goodra to die from the burn that turn. But now that the Greninja is here, I'm fearing the Ice Beam again, so I'm gonna go for the Protect to try and see if he goes for it, and he does actually go for it. So we've seen this situation before. I'm expecting him to have some kind of grass move, the Grass Knot, so I'm not going to switch into my Milotic this time, and even if he did go for Ice Beam, my Weavile could still take it. And he does actually end up going for the Grass Knot, so it's a good thing that I didn't switch in my Milotic. But since Weavile is faster than Greninja, and it's a nice type which super affects grass, he doesn't want to stay in, so he's going to switch out to his Fortress, which is not good for me since I can't really touch this thing. So I go for Icicle Crash, and it's going to do absolutely no damage. So since I can't touch this Fortress at all, I'm going to switch out into my Manectric, and I already know he's guaranteed to get up 1 entry hazard. But I do have the Fire move, so I can scare him out. But he does set up Stealth Rocks, which is no good for me since I do have a Yanmega on my team, so he's really screwed now. But since Tuck already knows that I have Flamethrower on my Manectric, he's gonna switch out, and I'm expecting him to go into his Greninja, but he actually sacrifices his Goodra here as Death Fodder. But I went for the Thunder Wave to try and slow down the Greninja, but it doesn't really matter since the Goodra dies here of burn. Now he's gonna switch into his Genesect, and since I know this thing is Scarfed, it's gonna be useless if I Thunder Wave it. So I'm gonna go straight for the Thunder Wave, try and slow this thing down all the way, but he actually is still faster than me, and he goes straight for the U-turn. Now as you can see, even though he didn't even get an attack boost, my Manectric cannot take 2 of those. So he's going to switch out to his Fortress here, and I still went for the Thunder Wave trying to cripple that Scarf Genesect, but it doesn't really mean anything to this Fortress. And I guess Tuck already saw that his Fortress has done its job, so he's just going to sacrifice it here to the Flamethrower. So now that his Fortress is dead, he's going to switch right back out to his Genesect. And as I said before, I can't take another U-turn, so I'm not going to want to stay in since I need this Manectric to actually take out this Genesect. So I'm going to switch out and go into my Milotic since it's my last physical wall left. And he is going to go for the U-turn. So Stealth Rocks and this Genesect's U-turn actually leave my Milotic in pretty bad shape. So I'm thinking that I just want to go for the recover on whatever Pokemon that comes in. But that's not going to really work out as planned because he actually does switch into his Greninja. And since now I'm in fear of taking another Grass Knot and just losing my Milotic, I'm going to have to make a switch, and I'm actually going to switch into my Yanmega next turn. So Yanmega is here, and you can actually see I take half damage from those Stealth Rocks since I'm 2x weak to them, but this Grass Knot is barely going to be doing any damage since Yanmega is not a heavy Pokemon and it resists Grass Knot. So I'm going to go for the Detect here to get a speed boost up because I know I'm not going to be faster than this Greninja from the get-go, and he goes for Ice Beam change to Ice type, so I no longer have a type advantage. But since I actually don't have any speed investment on my Yanmega because I have speed boost, I needed another speed boost just to be faster than this Greninja, so I go for a double Detect, but it actually doesn't work out and I end up losing my Yanmega here. So since my Yanmega is dead now, I can pull a switch into my Medicham, and since his Greninja is actually an Ice type right now, I can hit him with a Bullet Punch and hopefully take him out. But I'm not going to go for the Bullet Punch, I'm actually going to Mega Evolve. Ooh, I tricked you. Ooh, I tricked you. Manectric is actually not my Mega. It actually didn't have an item on him during this battle. I kind of forgot to put one on him. But here, Tuck's Greninja does go for Hydro Pump, and it does miss. And my Drain Punch is going to be enough to take the Greninja out. So now that's one huge threat off the field. But here he's going to switch into his Genesect, and he is going to get the special attack raise from download. And I don't want to take any moves because I want my Medicham to survive to take out that Terrakion there. So I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go into my Gliscor. I was expecting the U-turn, but he actually doesn't go for U-turn. He goes for Flamethrower, and it is going to be enough to take my Gliscor out. He was probably trying to kill off or get a burn on my Mega Medicham to make it useless, but I ended up sacking my Gliscor there. So now that I know he's locked into Flamethrower, I'm going to switch into my Milotic. He's actually going to go for the Flamethrower here, hoping that it would take me out, but I live with 8 HP and I go for the recover. So now that I know he's locked into Flamethrower and he's not going to be able to do anything to me, he's going to be forced to switch out, and I'm just going to go for the Scald and try and get a burn on whatever's left since he has no special attackers besides that Genesect. So he ends up switching into his Terrakion. It takes a lot of damage from that Scald, but I don't get the burn, so I'm actually going to go for the Protect next turn to try and get more HP back, because I know this Terrakion is going to be hitting my Milotic hard since I don't have any status for Marvel Scale boost. So I'm going to get a little bit of leftovers back, and this turn the Terrakion is going to go for close combat, and it's going to hit me real hard. It's going to bring me down to like 16 HP, and I go for the recover just because I was trying to gauge how much damage a close combat would do. So after the recover and leftovers, I'm going to get back to around as much HP as I had before the close combat. Not as much, but just around, and he's actually going to withdraw and he's gonna go into his Genesect. Now here, I wanted a free switch into my Mega Medicham, so I actually switched into my Weavile, sacking it off to the close combat, but he actually switches out to his Genesect, which I still can't touch because I don't have any moves that can touch it. I have Poison Jab and Ice moves, so he already know that the Genesect's going to be faster than me, so I'm just going to go for the Ice Shard just to get some more damage on the Genesect and sack off my Weavile here. Fortunately, he does take out my Weavile using U-turn, so now I'm going to get priority switch on whatever he sends in. I'm thinking I'm going to send in my Medicham anyway because it's one of the last 2 Pokemon I have left, but it depends. So he actually sends out his Weavile here, and I'm going to send in my Medicham since it can easily take out this Weavile. Now, even though I said I can easily take out this Weavile with Mega Medicham, I was afraid since Weavile is faster than I am, and I was thinking that it could probably take me out in one Icicle Crash. So I go for the Bullet Punch, hoping that it would take it out, but it actually survives, and it hits me with Poison Jab for some reason. He takes Life Orb damage, and then he goes for the Ice Shard, which is just going to be just close of killing me, and he's going to lose some HP, but he's still not going to die, so I'm going to take him out with a Bullet Punch this turn. If I would have gone for Drain Punch, I probably would have had a full health Medicham, and would have been like better off, but the bad choices were made. So he switches out into his Genesect here, and I'm just gonna have to sack off my Medicham because nothing else on my team wants to take more damage. So I'm just gonna go for the Bullet Punch, try to get this Genesect as low as possible, and he's gonna go for the Thunderbolt, which is actually fortunate for me since I do have a Manectric in the back. So since Manectric actually has a Lightning Rod, he's going to be completely immune to this Genesect's Thunderbolt, and he's only going to be raising my special attack. Knowing that he's going to be raising my special attack, I'm going to feel free to go for the Thunderbolt. That way, either if he switches in his Terrakion, I'll be able to kill it off, or if he stays in and gives me the boost, I'm going to be able to kill this thing off anyway without Flamethrower. So he actually does give me the special attack boost, which is like the best play he could have made, I see now, because his Terrakion is actually probably scarfed, so he's able to take out my Manectric here, and then my last Pokemon is my Milotic, and since before I was saying that his close combat wasn't doing that much damage to me, I was like, oh, I'm in good range, right? No. Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks. Yo, the Stealth Rocks put me in killing range of this close combat. I think it would have been good if I would have protected once, but since the Stealth Rocks were there, I wasn't able to get enough HP back with the leftovers, so I'm going to lose my Milotic here. It's going to be my last Pokemon, and that's going to be a really, really close 1-0. So good game, Tuck. That was a really good battle. And Stealth Rocks are clutch. People respect entry hazards. They can be a real tide turner for games like this. So yeah, if you haven't seen MoxieBoost videos, be sure to check him out on YouTube. Give that man mad respect. Even though you already know he ain't getting shit from me announcing his ass. So this is all about that shameless self-promotion, you feel me?